Under the dim lights, the crew of the cargo ship shared jokes, unaware of the danger lurking in the darkness ahead. Suddenly, the radar began to flicker. Small, fast boats appeared, moving swiftly through the night. Whispers filled the air, eyes exchanged glances, and uncertainty settled like a thick fog around them. One sailor clutched his locket, a picture of his daughter inside, thoughts racing. Would he see her again? The captain's voice broke the silence, steady yet filled with urgency. Prepare for any confrontation. As the boats approached, the crew's fears transformed into resolve. This night would define them. As the boats drew closer, the tension among the crew was palpable. Anxious glances were exchanged under the dim light of the small cabin. Carlos, the most experienced of the group, took a deep breath. We need to prepare for the worst. They're not here to chat. The young people looked at each other, a mixture of fear and determination coursing through their veins. It was time to choose a side. The siren began to sound, a deafening sound that made it clear the moment of truth had arrived. The boat trembled slightly. "There they are," shouted a sailor, pointing to the silhouettes of the fast boats approaching in the darkness. The captain decided it was time to defend what was theirs. He picked up the radio. "We're in danger, we need help." The waves began to rise, reflecting the anxiety of everyone on board. Uncertainty filled the air. The pirates were getting closer, the adrenaline was rising, each heartbeat echoed like a war drum. A young man with a determined look picked up an object heavily. "We won't let them humiliate us." Voices rose, each deciding how to react. It was a struggle between the instinct for survival and the fear of the unknown. Amidst the clamor, a momentary silence fell. Everyone knew that nothing would be the same again, regardless of the outcome. The battle was about to begin, and in that instant they understood that life would never be the same again. The sound of the sea roared around the ship as the pirates approached. Everyone's heart raced. Lucas, one of the crew members, took a deep breath. He knew his past haunted him, wounds that hadn't healed. Memories of his life before the sea flooded his mind, the modest house, his mother's smile, the job he had abandoned. As the pirates approached, Captain Sam shouted orders. The urgency in the air became palpable. Tension was rising. Eyes met, silent agreements were being formed. Each knew what they had to do. Lucas gazed at the stormy sea. Within him, an emotional tempest raged. What did it mean to be brave? The roar of cannons echoed. The first pirate attack had begun. There was no turning back. The war cries echoed. Lucas, overcome with fear, remembered the promise he had made to his mother not to give up. Bullets whizzed by. He saw a friend, Marco, get hit. Pain and guilt washed over him. Time seemed to stand still. Amidst the chaos, only the promise echoed. Life would never be the same. Hours passed. The ship withstood the attack, but the cost was high. Resoluteness wavered. Lucas felt Marco's absence like a weight. He knew he couldn't give up, but what did that mean? The attack finally ceased, but the silence was bitter. Lucas faced the captain. His responsibilities were growing. Tenths of a second passed. Lucas looked into the captain's eyes, a silent exchange of promises and loyalties. Tragedies and losses became part of their lives, indelible marks on souls exposed to war. The heavy breathing and anguish were palpable, but amidst the pain, a new hope began to sprout. Lucas began to realize that in the midst of the darkness, what united them were the small victories, each moment of courage. The team reorganized, the will to fight was reborn. Together, they prepared for the next clash. Lucas' eyes, a new determination shone. He was no longer alone. This would change everything. Life at sea continued, each day bringing new challenges, and Lucas was ready to face them. The scars they bore were symbols of survival. Each day was a step towards a new beginning. Lucas gazed at the horizon, ready for whatever was to come. He finally understood his place in that world. At that moment, the vastness of the sea reflected their journey. Life would never be the same again, and that was liberating. He had learned that the true meaning of courage lay not in fighting, but in the ability to start over. As Lucas stood on the battered deck, he felt the weight of loss still pressing on his chest. Memories of Marco lingered, haunting yet motivating. A sudden shout broke his reverie. The crew was gathering, eyes filled with determination and fear. The pirate ship loomed closer. Lucas instinctively stepped forward. He remembered Marco's last words, "Fight for those by your side." Those words resonated deeply. With a firm voice, he rallied the men. "We stand together today, no matter our fate. Together we are stronger." Their faces brightened slightly. Suddenly, cannon fire erupted from the pirate ship. The crew scrambled, adrenaline flooding their senses as chaos erupted around them. Amidst the turmoil, Lucas spotted a fellow sailor, James, struggling with a loose rope. He rushed over, instinctively grasping it. Their eyes met briefly. "Thanks, man," James shouted, relief evident in his voice. Lucas felt a wave of purpose wash over him. As the pirates boarded, the crew formed a line, hearts racing. Lucas' resolve grew stronger. This was their moment to defend each other. The clash was fierce. Lucas fought with everything in him, driven by the ghosts of those he had lost. He felt every strike intensely. In that chaos, a familiar face emerged from the enemy lines. It was a boy from Isle, his eyes wild yet desperate. Lucas hesitated. Poverty had led this boy to a dark path. Lucas remembered Marco again, understanding the desperation that drove people to fight. In that split second, Lucas saw beyond the fight. With a deep breath, he chose to save the boy instead of striking. A moment of hope. Lucas held the boy tightly, his heart racing. In that moment, the battle felt distant, overshadowed by the life he had chosen to protect. The boy, eyes wide with fear, whispered, "Thank you." Lucas nodded, feeling a weight lift even in the midst of chaos. As Lucas shielded the boy, gunfire rang out. In that split second, he realized protecting each other was their only hope. They ducked behind crates, the air thick with tension. Lucas glanced at the boy. He couldn't let anything happen to him. A sudden explosion rocked the ship. The boy clung to Lucas, and in that moment, everything shifted. The world around them dissolved. As silence fell, Lucas realized the pirates would never just go away. Choices had consequences. They had to find another way. Today, we delve into the escalating situation of piracy in 2011, where navies spent billions to control the seas but failed. With 736 hostages and 32 ships captured, the plight of sailors became a global concern, prompting international dialogue. This crisis revealed underlying economic and social issues driving piracy in the region. To understand the piracy phenomenon, we must look at the history of Somalia and its struggles. Once a prosperous fishing community, the collapse of governance led to desperation among its people. The contrast between past and present highlights the complex layers behind the piracy crisis. In the midst of the piracy crisis, shipping companies found themselves desperate for solutions as attacks surged. The mounting pressures led to a pivotal meeting among industry leaders discussing innovative security measures. It was here that the idea of hiring armed guards for vessels emerged, a significant shift in maritime security. Initially, some executives hesitated, questioning the effectiveness and legality of such measures. But as discussions intensified, statistics from previous hijacking reports began to change minds. Eventually, a consensus formed. Armed guards were hired, marking a turning point in shipping security. The effects were immediate, with no reported hijackings among vessels equipped with armed protection. This development revealed that pirates were losing their tactical advantage, leading to a significant decline in attacks. Maritime law enforcement began to notice this change, adjusting their strategies accordingly. Meanwhile, the international community's response evolved, focusing on cooperative efforts to combat piracy. As collaborative security efforts grew, so did the pressure on pirates, forcing many to reconsider their activities. Ultimately, this era shifted the dynamics of maritime safety, showing how multifaceted responses can lead to change. The shipping leaders saw early signs of success in their new security measures, reducing pirate attacks significantly. As the BMP-4 guidelines were implemented, ships began incorporating razor wire and high-pressure water hoses. These adaptations led to a noticeable decline in hijacking attempts, demonstrating the efficacy of collaboration. Navies around the world took notice and ramped up their intelligence-sharing efforts for better coordination. NATO's Ocean Shield closely collaborated with the EU's Operation Atalanta, a milestone for international cooperation. This collaboration also involved extensive training exercises aimed at preparing forces for any potential threats. The shipping lanes became safer, fostering a renewed sense of trust among shipping companies and their crews. However, piracy was still a threat, prompting a constant need for vigilance and improvement in security measures. The beginning of convoys saw vessels traveling together through high-risk areas, maximizing their protection. As piracy tactics evolved, so did the strategies to combat them, creating a continuous arms race at sea. Shipping companies began investing in fortified safe rooms known as citadels to protect crew in emergencies. This layer of protection significantly increased the chances of crew survival during hijacking incidents. The new BMP-4 measures became widely adopted, setting a standard for maritime safety worldwide. Reports indicated a sharp fall in successful hijackings, shifting the balance back toward maritime trade. This period marked a crucial turning point in the ongoing battle against piracy on the high seas. International conferences emerged, fostering dialogue about maritime laws and agreements to enhance safety. The collaboration facilitated a shared understanding of the piracy threat and how to combat it collectively. Despite the challenges, a sense of community developed among nations that previously operated in isolation. One notable success was the significant drop in incidents near the Horn of Africa due to proactive measures. Additionally, merchant vessels began sharing real-time conditions at sea, creating transparency in operations. They also established watch groups for peer support and information sharing among crews at sea. This community-driven approach not only empowered crews but also contributed significantly to maritime safety. As the landscape of maritime trade evolved, so did the mindset toward piracy, recognized as a collective issue. With ongoing vigilance, there was hope that international waters could remain safe for future generations. As international waters began to stabilize, coastal towns struggled with their new realities. Island Hobyo felt the pinch of economic decline. Community leaders in Isle met to discuss strategies for economic recovery. Hope was dwindling, but ideas flowed. Some suggested diversifying into tourism, while others clung to fishing amid fears of piracy's return. Meanwhile, global attention turned towards the imprisoned pirates, questioning justice and morality in diverse cases. Documentaries emerged, exploring the lives of those once glorified as pirates. They revealed stories of desperation. The story of Mohammed Abdi Hassan, or Afwin, stood out. His allure came from charisma, not just crime. Caught under a false pretense, Afwin's arrest sparked debates on law enforcement tactics and ethics. News of his capture hinted at the blurry line between crime and survival in Somalia's chaotic landscape. As debates intensified, international organizations sought solutions that addressed both safety and local economies. Locals expressed feelings of betrayal. They believed their plight wasn't considered in global discussions. This tension highlighted the ripple effects of piracy, how violence breeds more violence and poverty. Ultimately, as the world sought solutions, the importance of addressing root causes of piracy became clear. In the shadows of the Gulf of Aden, fishermen discussed the return of illegal activities in their waters. Hope for sustainability feels distant. As reports of illegal fishing rise, community leaders gather to devise strategies. Their past choices weigh heavily on them. Amid debates, they confront the reality: without the ocean's resources, young men may return to piracy as a last resort. Experts emphasize that addressing illegal fishing is key. The cycle of economic despair must be broken. The conversation shifts to international accountability. Foreign ships exploiting resources face scrutiny from local voices. Ultimately, the community rallies for change, bridging the gap between their past and future, determined not to repeat history.